Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Select Generation podcast. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest. We don't say that every episode, Joe. Joined by Joseph Echeverria. I believe that's how you pronounce your last name. So, Joe is a very special player for Select Generation. He was at one of our first showcases in Charlotte, in North Carolina, when we started about 18 months ago. Joe is a energetic fullback, pretty versatile player, can play on either side. Um, Good kid, good humble, plays for one of the best clubs in Charlotte, Charlotte Independence. I used to live in Charlotte, so yeah. Anyway, enough of me rambling. Joe, you want to give a little bit of a quick introduction about yourself to the millions of listeners, and then we'll dive into it.
Yeah, I got you. So I'm Joseph Echeverria. I'm 18 years old. I grew up in a small town called Lincoln, North Carolina. It's not so big for soccer, so I had to go out of town and go out of the city to find soccer. Along that pathway, I ran into Charlotte Independence. Playing as a kid, as every other kid's story, they start off with recreation. That's how I started. At the time, there was a small club in my hometown called Lassie United. I played there for about all the way up to my eighth grade year. After that, the Body Armor State Games was a big thing here in North Carolina. It was divided into four regions: East, South, North, and West. I participated in that, and I was the fullback for the West region. As a freshman, it was very hard to get minutes, and it was challenging. There was a lot of top quality players. As a freshman, you come in small compared to some players who are seniors. They're built. They've been around the game. They've taken brutal tackles and everything. There I had a coach who believed in me, and he believed in my potential. I got to work with him. I got to work with the team. We trained really well. And when we did the tournament, it went well. We didn't come first. We didn't come second. We came in third. But we got good results for my first year doing it. It was really well. After that, we had a CSA showcase over in Pineville Sportsplex with Lassie United. And I remember that day, there was a coach out there from Charlotte Independence recruiting kids, come play. Because at the time, they were Rapids and they converted into Charlotte Independence. And, I got recruited that day. I got on trial for one of the USL Academy teams. I was on trial for I think about a week, and the level was really well. There's players there who've already been talking to schools and colleges and come from backgrounds, academies like Atlanta United, LA Galaxy. There were some players who played around there, and after that time, I wasn't at the level to play on the USL Academy team. So I started off on just ECNL national team, and through my way up, I just made my way up there, just trying to catch up to level, putting in training, inside, outside of practice, trying to build connections around me. And, just at that time, I just had to put in work by myself and try to, develop my skills with some of the teammates there. And, eventually, now I am here, building that level up to playing on the same team and, trying to find what's next for me for college.
Yeah, right. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, Joe, what do you think in terms of being because you are playing ECNL, right?
Yeah.
So, in terms of being a good ECNL player to get a lot of attention, what do you think is important to, sorry, let me rephrase that. To be a top ECNL player, one of the best ECNL players, what do you think is important about your soccer game?
Decision making is probably the best thing, man. At the level of I think anywhere, it can be MLS, you can be NPL, you can be USL, no matter what it is. I'm not saying necessarily you have to be the best fit, but just decision making is really what college coaches and USL and ECNL coaches really look at. Decision making is probably one of the best things and probably the key thing of the game. If you're not a good decision maker, you're causing your team a lot of trouble, especially in the back line and in the midfield. So I think that's probably the key thing to being an ECNL player.
Okay. And then obviously there's a lot of people that are like, if you're an academy player, MLS Next is the best. If you're an NPL player or a rec player, like you're never going to get any college looks. What advice would you give to someone who is thinking about, playing academy soccer? They're not sure if MLS Next, they're not sure if NPL, they're not sure if ECNL. How would you kind of differentiate the levels? What would you say is the differences?
Me as an ECNL player, we get that a lot. Basically to the school that I go to, me and probably two other kids are probably the only players who've ever represented ECNL. And we get that a lot from just kids who don't play club outside of there. What's the level difference between MLS and ECNL? To be honest with you, I could be wrong, I could be right. But for me, I see that it's two amazing organizations and groups of level. MLS Next has really good, talented players who go off to play Division I schools and go play pro. You've also had ECNL players who have signed to go play Division I and go pro. It's just two different, I'd say conferences. Um, it's about the same people that you're building connections with, about the same intensity training. And it's basically the same society. It's just at the end of the day, there's no really telling what's better, what's not, because you have players who are all good in both conferences. So I mean, to answer
Yeah.
that, man, it's pretty hard, but I think from both levels, there is lots of differences.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's a good I think that's a good reference. I mean, I think, there's a lot of MLS, there's a lot of differences in MLS Next too. MLS Next is kind of like Division One, you have the top teams, the top MLS Next academies who are pro, who are fully funded, and then you have MLS Next teams at the bottom, like Division One schools at the bottom. Like, I mean, the top 20 Division Two schools would probably beat half of Division One schools. So, yeah, no, I see what you mean. I think that's fair. What about you then, Joe? For your personal journey, what do you think? Do you think there's been one coach who's been the most impactful on your sort of soccer career growing up in your development? And if so, why?
Yeah, so when I first came to Charlotte Independence, I was always playing a six or an eight at the Academy of Recreation and the old team that I used to play for. But when I first came to Independence, obviously, like I said in the beginning, the USL Academy team wasn't the best fit for me. So I had to be on the second team. And the coach that now, his name's Dave Carton. He is now the assistant coach for our first team, the USL League One Charlotte Independence professional team. He's the assistant coach there. He's a really good guy. His name's Dave Carton. But when I first came into the academy team, I had the mindset and mentality going in as a six or eight. And I remember the first day I was going to make my debut, he said, "Hey, we have players who are playing in midfield. If you want to get minutes, you have to take that sacrifice of playing in a new position that you've never played and probably you've never been comfortable with." So, as you hearing that as a player who comes into a really good level like ECNL, you have the mentality of prepping for that game to come into play as a midfielder. So, I mean, I remember that day before the game, I was watching highlights probably of Kevin De Bruyne or like any other good midfielder. And, I remember just telling him, he was like, "All right, are you ready to go in?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "But you're going to go in as a fullback instead of a midfielder." And, at that time, you have to prep and you have to think, all right, I'm going as a defender, I got to change what I had thinking of me going into the game. So, from that day, I remember I had a solid game. I've never played defense in my life. That was my first time, especially for making a debut for that game. Playing as a fullback, it was really scary, and just taking that sacrifice and him believing in me to go in as a fullback to get minutes. It was honestly a good blessing. Ever since then, and practices, trying to train like a fullback. Through you guys, started playing showcases and performing with the development team for fullback. And I think now that I think I'm a fullback was because of that sacrifice. And that day that he told me, he's like, "Hey, if you want to play soccer anywhere, you got to be ready to be to play all positions, because if you really love the game, if you really want to play at the next level, you got to be ready to come in whenever, no matter what position it is." So I think from that day, from having him as an impact on me to not preparing me for what I was going to come in as to getting me ready to play something that he saw me in, it has made a big difference. And I mean, that's the player I am now, fullback, thanks to Dave Carton.
Yeah, right. Good. Good. Yeah, I mean, being versatile as a fullback, but I mean, I thought I could play everywhere. I probably couldn't have, but playing a fullback, gives you a lot of versatility. Joe, so in terms of the college process, obviously you're not committed yet. I think you're pretty close, but for someone that is starting the college process, doesn't know where to start, doesn't know who to talk to, doesn't know what steps to follow, what advice would you give to that player who knows they want to play in college, but they just don't know how to start?
Yeah, so that's a good question. The advice that I'd probably give, don't do what I did. I waited till my senior year to actually have a full highlight video made. You and Victor and Juan kept pressuring me, like you got to make your video, you got to make your video, and you guys were trying to invest in me to send out to colleges, and I kept telling you guys I had it, but I didn't have it. I had clips, I didn't have a whole video ready for me. So don't wait till your senior year to have that video. Have those clips your junior year and sophomore year. Obviously, you can't talk to college coaches probably your sophomore year, but the beginning of your junior year, you can. So have those clips, have those videos ready for you to, send to college coaches. In my opinion, I think everyone else says it in life, and not just soccer, but anything in life. It's better to start things earlier than start them late. So that college recruitment process, if you really do want to play at the next level, like you say, start that early. Start the videos early. Start the highlight reel early. Get those connections early. Try to get college coaches information early. And just be patient. The process is not easy. Several college coaches that I've been talking to my junior year when I didn't have a video, they weren't going to put me as their first priority, no matter how good of a player I was. They were in the recruitment process of recruiting players based off that senior grad year. So I'd say trust the process, be patient, have that video ready, and just trust and believe in yourself and God. Because that's at the end of the day what's gonna help out the most.
Yeah, for you. I remember, I think if I scroll up on our text, I'm like, Joe, don't text me until your video is ready.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do, man? How am I going to talk to coaches about a video? But nah, no, no, all good. Yeah, that's funny. So all right. Yeah, start early, obviously. And then obviously you go to a lot of showcases, ID camps, tournaments with your team. When you're in that environment, when you're in front of the coaches, what do you think is important to make an impression, to get their attention, to make you an offer or show interest in you?
Yeah, so when I back this back to when I first tried out, when I tried with Independence, as a coach, what I've learned is, when you're at those ID camps, when you're at the showcases, or when you're on trial with anything, coaches for me, they rather you first see your decision making, and two, they want to see you be willing to make those sacrifices passes. As a fullback, there's times that you don't really have an option out wide, or you can't take on those players down the line. So you want to risk and sacrifice that pass, make it down the middle and try to break out of there. So, from what I've experienced through ID camps, talking to coaches, showcases and stuff, you want to take those sacrifices and sometimes make risky passes. And that's something what coaches look at. When I was talking to the Gardner Webb coach, one time he told me as a fullback, one thing that he'd rather me see rather than, just receiving it out wide and trying to build from out wide, try to risk a pass playing it to your 6 or 8. Because, I mean, they are the key makers of the game. They have the best vision probably, or if not the best vision of the game. And they can create something out of it. And, just always try to find new ways to, I mean, make the game better and bigger. And outside of that, just be humble and just believe in your ability. Go in calm and relaxing. And at the end of the day, if it's meant for you, it's meant for you, and you'll receive an offer. If not, you keep trying and trying. There's several kids here and nowadays who believe that they do well in one showcase, they're going to get an offer the next day. But they don't understand how hard the game is. There's even till now, I'm here on this call with you. There's probably some kids somewhere else training to be better, to do better, and get better. So just believe in your ability, and I mean, just enjoy the process. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, right. Um, Obviously soccer's a massive part of, getting a college offer and being good enough to play in that team for that coach. Other than soccer, to get a college offer, what do you think is important?
Yeah, so I didn't realize this actually. That's a good question too. I didn't realize this till my senior year of going on visits and talking with coaches. A lot nowadays, I feel like, what coaches really think of players, you can be the best soccer player, but, if you don't have a good attitude, good mindset, a good mentality or personality, they don't want those kind of jerks or rude guys on your team. The other day I went on a visit to Belmont Abbey's Division II school in Belmont, North Carolina. Um, Head coach is John Keating. What I've heard from all the other guys and when I've, talked to him one on one, he looks for character. He saw that I was a good player and a good lad, but at the same time, he wanted to see how, my head was up here, and, one thing that I remember him telling me when I left the school is, anywhere you go to school for soccer, don't just go there for soccer, go there for who you want to become and study, and at the same time, make something out of it. And, he wanted to make sure that, I wasn't doing things that was going to get the team, in trouble, or if I wasn't going to get myself in trouble or lose my scholarship. He wanted to make sure that I had a good personality, a good mindset, and just be able to help out others. So, I mean, lots of days, not just Belmont Abbey, lots of days, other coaches I've talked to, they want you to be a good character. You can be a good soccer player, and they could care less about that. They want you to be a good character, a good person, and with that being said, with having coaches asking players if they're good people, and, asking the questions and see, I think that's what really builds a team. Because if you have beef with this and that person in practices, or you come in rude the first day thinking that you're the best or the baddest, that can bring down the team or bring down you in any kind of way in life, for soccer, for reality, and anything. So, I mean, in my opinion, to answer your question, that's what I've seen lately in coaches. They really care how you are as a person, not as a soccer player. So, yeah.
Yeah, couldn't agree with more than that. I mean, especially like in a college soccer roster where you have average of about 30 players, like you've got 10 guys you might not really be playing. And I mean, you need everyone to be on the same page. You need to be a team, right? Like teams win championships, players don't. So, um, no, I definitely agree with that. And it's good you understand that too, because some players don't understand. They're like, yeah, I'm good at soccer for the coach. I don't know why he's not recruiting me. Like, I'll be better than anyone on his team. And it's like, there you go.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So, Joe, like we said, you have to be a good teammate. You have to be a good player. What about grades? How important do you think grades are to going to college?
Like I said, there's lots of kids who, are internationals, and, kids who are here that live in the US. Grades are very important because not lots of those college programs are able to give you the funds that you would need to play soccer there. What I've talked about lately with me and my friends and my teammates, colleges have a bigger perspective to investing more on the people who are internationals, because, they sacrifice everything from where they're living to come here to the US to play. And there's very so little they can give those kind of people those options. So when you can't rely on athletic scholarship, you got to rely on academic scholarship to pay for your tuition and fees. So having really good grades, it helps out a lot. And just not having that mentality that, oh, I'm just gonna rush through school and get it done with, and I'm gonna go perform well in soccer and become a pro after. No, man, you gotta have good grades, because that helps out a lot when it comes down to financial stuff.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I mean, especially like obviously Division 1 programs, most of them are fully funded, or not most of them. A lot of them are, have money to give scholarship money out. Division 2, you know, might have a team with two scholarships. So, obviously academic scholarships are massive. Then Division 3 can't offer athletic scholarships. So it's like, okay, if I have better grades, then I can get more academic scholarship.
Yeah,
And that's even if you get into the school, like you have to get into the school in the first place. Uh,
exactly. Yeah.
so yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. All right, Joe, last question. Um, God, I've drawn a blank now. What was I going to ask you? Okay, Joe, last question. What do you think has been the most difficult part of your college process?
The most difficult part of my college process is, that's a good question. You put me on the spot there. The most difficult part is probably, as any CNL player, some people have visions to go play Division 1 because they're playing at a higher league, and some coaches who just see that label on you as an ECNL player, they won't accept you because you have that label. They want you to come see you play, and sometimes players have good games, some players have bad games, and they just. I mean, coaches nowadays, they don't care about the label or the name or what you have. They have to come see you play in person. And if you have one screw up in a game or something, that could rely on you, on the school that you want to go play at. And another thing that's probably difficult for the college recruitment process is, back to what I was saying, video. Video is very, very important, and if you don't have that, for some coaches who can't drive 2 days or 2 hours to go see you play at a showcase, that video is very important, because I've been recruited for some schools who have just seen my video and they given me an offer after, and so I think that's probably difficult for some players to not have a highlight video, and it can actually help out as well. So, yeah.
Okay, and then last question. What's been the most enjoyable part of your college process?
The visits, man. The visits. As you don't experience that college visit when you go on as a high school player. Many kids don't get that opportunity. So the visits, man, just being there, meeting all the guys from who are from here, who are from Europe, from Spain, from wherever, just being around that environment and being able to joke around with them. For me, when I went on school visits, of how it's been is, I arrive, I get lunch, and then after I go train with the team, and then I spend the night with a guest or homestay, however you want to say it, with a teammate. And just being there and getting to meet a bunch of the goofballs on college programs, and getting that one-on-one conversations with coaches, just being able to try on the uniform and get flicks in it and stuff. And after that, going back to the dorm and going out with people and get to ask them one-on-one questions. Over when I went to Northern Greenville to the university for a visit, I was staying with three guys who were on the first team, and I was able as a freshman to stay the night with them. And that night, I think we stayed up till probably 2 a.m. And it was just me being on their nerves, just asking them questions about why you guys chose NGU, what was y'all's career like and stuff. So definitely the best part about it has been the offers, man. That's one thing I've been very blessed and happy for the visits.
Yeah, man, love that. I didn't get to do any of that. Obviously, I was 4,000 miles away, or however it went, however far it was. So yeah, you're lucky. Cherish that, cherish those moments, man. But all right, Joe, great to speak, man. Excited for you, excited for your journey, and yeah, appreciate your time with the podcast, mate.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Good.